Josh doesn't live anywhere near his business, so he's running it from a different part of the UK.
Zoe's business question is, how do you sustain growth by maintaining quality? Yeah, that's the future. If you took anyone away from this podcast, yeah, go to church as an employee.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Worry, and then you want to make sure the team's all right, but then you've got a fully loaded van, and then the vehicle's not starting because the rear axle's gone, so we have to get another moving company, but it's 12 o'clock at night and there's no one to, it's just a nightmare. It's been, I guess an interesting way of starting a business, but initially I was at West Ham a few years ago, just to really attract more work, because that's how we're going to sort of get work through the door, that's how we're going to grow as a company. We need to share our business to people, and that's why we're so big on it.
Hi guys, welcome to this episode of Movecast. Today we have the pleasure of Josh Pask. He started his business which operates in London in 2020. And Josh is an unusual case because Josh doesn't live anywhere near his business, so he's running it from a different part of the UK. So we're excited to dive into that. Thanks for coming. Thanks for travelling from Coventry today, which isn't that far, is it?
It's not, it's only about 40-minute drive.
Yeah,
that,
perfect.
So thank you for having me.
Yeah, good man, good. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you too.
So what we always do at the start of these podcasts is ask a business question, which always comes from Rob. I never know what it is.
Yep, so welcome mate. This episode's business question is, how do you sustain growth by maintaining quality in your business?
It's actually something that you said, Warren. I remember you talking about when I think first started speaking to you. You know, you have a growth year, then you have like a maintain year.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of that. Like this year's been really maintaining where we're at this current moment in time. Just taking on a little bit more work, but you know, we're happy with the amount of sort of fans and men that we have, and we're comfortable where we're at. And we're kind of trying to solidify that, and then next year hopefully we can look to grow. So it's been literally following off what you've sort of mentioned about one growth year, and then 1 year of kind of maintaining, and then you can push on. So that's what we've done.
Nice. Okay, yeah. I've social media clips a while ago. It's like Amazon. Jeff Bezos actually based Amazon around that model.
Right.
He's grow 1 year and maintain the next year, and then grow the next year, whether he still does it or not.
Reckon he copied
You know what I mean?
that?
He might have done actually. Yeah, he did.
No, but that's interesting, because you know I actually find that the years where you're not growing externally are the most important. Have you found that? Because we're growing anyway. Like Warren's, although we're not buying, you know, when I say growth, I consider that buying a new lorry or containers and vans and stuff. But you can grow internally by extra training and stuff like that. So I find those are the best years.
Yeah, I think this year's been brilliant. I think it's been our best year by far, and we've not purchased a new van, I don't believe. We've kind of just maintained the same members of staff, and just really honed in on just picking up more work with the amount of sort of vehicles that we have in this moment in time, and it's been really good. But I do like buying a new van and growth. I'm very much into, you know, going for the moon really, and just trying to grow as big as we possibly can. But then again, obviously you want to maintain a good reputation, and you have to, because in this line of work, if you don't maintain a good reputation, you're not going to be able to grow, are you? Because you're not going to get the work coming through the door. So it is very much trying to get to a point where, you know, you're at this stage, you're growing, you're doing well, and it's like, okay, we've maintained that now, and then we can look to go to the next step. So it's if Jeff Bezos is doing it,
yeah.
Must work. So you come to me originally, wasn't it, in 2020?
It was. It must have been late 2020 or maybe even 2021 actually.
Was it?
Might have been 2021.
And at that time you were playing for Coventry?
That's right, yeah. Coventry City at the time. Yeah,
Who are you playing for now?
I'm currently at the New Saints.
The New Saints?
Yeah, it's a club that not a lot of people know about because we play in the Welsh Premier League.
Okay.
But you might have seen us this season specifically because we play in the Europa Conference League.
Nice.
So we had a game yesterday against Djurgården, I believe their name is, a Swedish Premier League side.
Where was that?
That was at Shrewsbury's
it?
ground.
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't play on our own ground because it's not big enough. I don't believe it doesn't have the capacity to take on like a Europa Conference League game.
Yeah.
But we played in Shrewsbury yesterday. We lost 1-0 unfortunately, but it's a great experience. You know, not a lot of players get to say they play in Europe. So
of course,
and it's kind of we don't really expect to sort of get into Europe.
Yeah.
But the way that it works out, because we're in the Welsh Premier League, I think sort of UEFA have to give every country an opportunity to be able to qualify for one of the competitions.
Yeah.
Because we finished top of our league, we get the first round qualifying round for the Champions League, and then if you kind of, depending on if you win or lose, you drop down to the Europa Conference League qualifier. The Europa League qualifier, and then you drop down into the Europa Conference League qualifier, and we managed to get through.
What's the biggest team you played against in Europe then?
This year we played Fiorentina.
I did play Fiorentina.
Yeah. It was.
What was the score?
It was 2-0. We lost 2-0.
Yeah,
so not too bad actually. If you would
yeah.
ask us before the game, would you take 2-0 or loss? You probably would say yeah. You're not expected to, probably expect to get battered.
So you're doing full time. You're driving to Wales every day, training.
An hour and a half.
Yeah. Training and still running your removal business.
I try to. I try to.
Because that's like a totally different model to how normally, like they'll start on the vans, they'll buy a van and they'll go. But you've from the off as kind of. How did you start then? What was the thought process?
It's been I guess an interesting way of starting a business. But initially, I was at West Ham a few years ago. Kind of grew up through the academy there. I got to 21. Unfortunately, got released. But Coventry offered me a contract, so I decided to head up to the Midlands. And I was like, okay, well, I've got some stuff. I need to move. I know my cousin at the time. He was working for a moving company, so I was like, I'll give him a call. Do you mind sort of getting me a price to help me move? I only got like literally a room worth of stuff it was. And he's like, no problem. Managed to get me a quote. It was only £300. I was like, great. I helped the guy out. We loaded the van up and head up to Coventry. Offloaded the stuff in the rooms and that was it. Gave him the money. I was like, that's not bad going for him. He earned £300. It was about 2.5 hours worth of work. I was like, oh, that's cool. Just kind of had that in the back of my mind now. Going into the following into the season, we started the season. We were in League One at the time. Played a couple of games. Unfortunately, got injured really early on. Done my ankle. Was out for a few months. Came back. Made my debut in the FA Cup. Scored a goal, which was great. Everything was going well. And then all of a sudden, COVID happened. And at the time, I thought, okay, well, I'm at home, just like everyone else was at the time. Not doing much, just kind of thinking about things you can do. And I remember, I moved a few months ago, and that guy earned £300. Obviously, I didn't really know about business and the fact they had to pay for fuel and the owner and admin and all this stuff. But I just, you know what I mean, yeah. But that's what I thought, and I was like, you know what, that's a good idea for me to start, and decided to start the moving company. That's literally how it happened, and then.
During COVID that you...
Yeah, it was during COVID. Yeah, the idea popped up in my mind when we were in lockdown, and then I decided to take the plunge in November. That year, I think it was like second or third lockdown it was. And then one thing led to another. I had a good friend who lives up here, who's a barber, and I told him about what I'm going to do, and he's like, oh yeah, there's this guy called Warren, and he, I cut his hair, he comes into the shop, and I was like, he's really killing it up my way. I was like, okay, do you mind sort of giving me his details? I can sort of send him a message. Yeah, and then lo and behold, I think I messaged Warren on Instagram, I believe it was, or WhatsApp, and then we built a connection from there, and then the rest is history. Yeah.
So did you go up and do the course that you used to do?
It was before that.
Was it? Yeah.
That, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And the course, it was a flash in the pan really for me. I started it, and probably 14 months after, I couldn't do it anymore. It's too time consuming. Yeah. But people like yourself is what put the idea into my head.
Right. Yeah. Well, I needed it. I mean, I cannot tell you, Warren, how much of a blessing you've been for me and my business. Honestly, mate, like you've been tremendous. Because all this knowledge and information you've not withheld, you've shared freely, and honestly, it is a massive testament to yourself and the company that you run. No wonder why you're doing so well. Because you've been amazing. And because I was ignorant, when you start this, and you have no clue what you're doing. But the ability just to message Warren and get information and ask things, and him being able to just share, and literally everything you've given me, I've implemented, and I've seen growth happen. Really, and I'm so thankful for it, mate.
Nice, good.
It's great to hear. To be fair, like that's what I say about you. Like, Woz does the customer service for iMove, and it's not just having like a customer service who tells you what to do. He actually gives out free information to the subscribers. It's good that you just got that in you. You know what I mean? You just got that in you to help people like that.
Because I actually do think that there's a shortage of entrepreneurs. So when I see one trying their hardest, I'll get a kick from it. And I've got knowledge. I've been doing this 12 years. I've been there, done it. Do you know what I mean? It's no skin off my nose. What I am now, there's over 100 people using iMove. It's quite time consuming now. But I still do it, and I always will, I think.
Giving is living, mate. We know that, don't we? Yeah, giving is living.
Coincidentally, I actually got a message yesterday from a football player, plays for QPR.
Okay.
And he wants to start a removals company.
Right, wow, yeah.
So I wanted to speak to you about this because that's your ground, isn't it?
Of course.
In London. Do I help him or not?
Absolutely, you help him. Yeah, of course.
Should I pass him over to you?
You know, you absolutely help. I mean, I've come from a place where I don't really believe that there's much competition. I think there's an abundance. I think there's loads of moves out there. There's people moving, thousands of people moving every week in and around the UK. There's more than enough work for everyone. I think if you market your service correctly and you really share the value of your moving company, I think that you're going to get inquiries coming through the door. I really do believe it. I've helped a few people in our sort of local area as well, just up the road from us, sort of help them grow and just pass a bit of information that I have learned onto them. And they've certainly got work coming through the door, and we've even competed on work in some cases. But I really do believe that there's more than enough work out there. Absolutely.
I love that attitude as well.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Sorry, Bob, but so many people think that we're all enemies, when in fact we're friends.
Yeah.
But there's so much more you can do together than fight.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you always push each other up because it's like a game of football, and whoever's the best team that wins. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you've just got to try and be better than everyone, but you don't have to do it in a horrible way. You just try and be your best company you can, don't you? And then the rest is history.
Marketing obviously is so impactful, and you do it really well.
Yeah.
I think you know that as well. You've come in to this industry and you've took it by storm. Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah, I guess I don't really look at. I guess I'm not asking myself that question, but I'm certainly happy with where we've taken the business in 4 years. And you said it yourself, marketing, and that's kind of following from you guys. When I was first introduced to the industry, there was really no one marketing their service in the new way, sort of using social media and content and that kind of stuff. You were the only one doing it as far as I was concerned. Yeah. And I thought, wow, this is really inspiring. Yeah. And it looks great. It looks fantastic. And, I feel like, well, we're in a business where we keep having to get new clients. Yeah. We constantly have to get new work because, someone's moving home and they're probably not going to move for another 15 years. Obviously, you've got storage clients and you've got people that maybe move every year because they're moving from an apartment to another apartment, etc. But majority of the business, I guess you would agree, is new customers. New people, so we have to constantly be marketing our service to new people to get more work. Yeah. And that's why we're so heavy on it with the content that we produce and all the other bits that we do, just to really attract more work, because that's how we're going to sort of get work through the door. That's how we're going to grow as a company. We need to share our business to people, and that's why we're so big on it. Yeah, and you've done really well, like really, really well, especially in marketing. Everybody knows who Josh Pask is. Yeah, everybody. Yeah. But I'm going to hand you some flowers now, mate, because my marketing is all thanks to Bob. So all I had to do was act.
It was as the actor. Yeah, I told him to do everything. Yeah, I always joke with him like it's because of me. That's where it was. That is.
But obviously, Bob has helped me grow the business and vice versa.
You helped me. He helped me grow as well. So like I practiced on Women's Removals tonight, to be fair, growing up. But it's a good partnership in it so far, to be fair. And we're just enjoying the journey with our move.
But not a lot of people. Well, most people are shy, aren't they? So when you get in front of a camera, but how important is it?
Yeah, I guess maybe not shy. It's maybe just it's different. Yeah. It's weird. It's like I'm speaking to a camera. It's kind of awkward. Yeah. This is not natural. And it was certainly like that for me. I look at some of the content we released in our first year, and I was like, wow, that doesn't look very good at all. But in order to get to where we're at now and where we want to go, we have to start somewhere. Yeah. We're going to start by probably looking. Not looking the part, slurring our words, stuttering. If I could share some of the videos that we produce, it's just me stuttering over and over and over again, sweating because I just can't get it right or just messed up my words or whatever it is, or done it, have to do it again and again and again. Oh my gosh, we'll be here for hours.
You've got to make them ones to get good.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like anything, when you're starting anything, you're going to be bad. You're never going to be the perfect finished article. So it really is getting through the first few months, years of sucking. And we're still not amazing yet.
Yeah, of course.
We're still growing, and we just keep improving with every sort of post, with every job that we do. But yeah, I guess it's just different. I think it's the first sort of get over the first hurdle of feeling awkward and it being unnatural, and then all of a sudden you're like, this is me now. I'm a person that we market our service and we speak on camera, because it is important. I think, in this day and age especially, we're getting to a point where a lot of people are finding their product or service of choice by people like really sharing it via video and that kind of thing. And I think that's, a lot of business owners have to look into that now. As much as they're business owners, they also have to be content creators,
I think Ben Francis, Gymshark, I think he was like the start of it, really, because he really gave everyone an insight to his business, and he told what his business earned, and he told, like, he really knew his business, and he was invested in it by his social media and just his personality. And I think a lot of companies now are following suit, and not just like building a business, but building a business with a personal brand and a brand in itself. And it's good, because if you're buying something off someone, exactly, like someone knows iMove, they only have to look on YouTube or social media, they know our business. We're truthful, we're not trying to hide anything, and we're just open and honest. And I think it's a good way to be, because you know the business.
Yeah.
It's that trust, isn't it? The trust. The trust is there. I look at Warren, I'm like, I trust you, mate. Because you've revealed so much value and shared so much, and you've been so authentic. Even the podcast is brilliant, because it just I understand who's behind the brand. Yeah. I'm getting the sort of complete overview of what's going on, and not hiding anything from me. And I sort of associate it to like characters when you're watching like a TV series or a movie. I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones.
No, I've seen a couple of episodes. But
right, I use this as an example. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's this guy called Joffrey on the show, and he's like, you hate him. He's a horrible. He turns out to be the king, and he's a horrible. He's terrible, and he's like, I just hate him. Everyone hates him. That watches the show, and then, like, you see him. I've seen him do an interview, like, he's obviously an actor. And I'm like, I still feel like a sense of like hatred. Well, not seriously, but you're the guy that's horrible on the show. But it's you've built that sort of association with him, because he plays a character, and. On the other side, you have the Jon Snow. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's like the guy who's, you're rooting for, and you like him because he's like, he's the hero. And then he does interviews outside of the show, and it's like, you like him as well because he's Jon Snow. You know what I mean? And it really builds that sort of positive association. So if you can get that across on camera and sort of really reveal that, like you guys are doing with this iMove, it builds so much trust. It really does.
I like that.
So you're saying woman's like Jon Snow?
Bit of a weird question here, but if somebody was to play a film about your life, who would be the actor?
Oh, I don't know.
What about you, Rob? Who would you like to act as?
It's got to be a Brad Pitt, in it, or someone like that. Joke. Nah, I don't know. Who would I like to act? I do like the English. I forgot his name. Who plays? I think is he in Lock, Stock?
Lenny Henry.
I forgot his name. What's his name? I think he played Bane.
Oh, Tom Hardy.
No, Tom Hardy. Yeah, Tom Hardy. I like Tom Hardy. Yeah.
What about you?
I'd probably have to say like Michael B. Jordan, probably, because he's kind of young and he looks good, and I'm I'm just joking. But probably,
Pepperoni.
Yeah, Tom Hanks in it, me.
Tom Hanks. Well, I tell you what, I used to love Tom Hanks when he was little, didn't you? You used to have a box set, and we actually sold a box set, didn't we, for a bag of chips once? Remember?
Bit of like a backstory on me and Rob. We used to live together. We had no money whatsoever.
Right.
But we found a shop up the road that would buy DVDs off us for like 50p or something. Right. And I had a massive collection. So when we got hungry, we were like, what one should we sell now? So we picked the crap ones, because it was 50p. It didn't matter what it was, you know what I mean? But when we started creeping into my Tom Hanks box set, like when I had to give away Saving Private Ryan for a Coca-Cola chips.
Gosh.
Good true story. True story.
Yeah, so going back to your business, what's your business look like today? How many staff have you got?
Yeah, we've got around 10 guys, 7 who do sort of regular work.
So 7 full-time?
Not quite full-time. So we've got a few guys full time, a few like sort of subcontractors, but they do regular work. And we're operating 5 vans at this moment in time, and yeah, we've been going 4 years.
5 vans in 4 years, unreal, man.
That's great, and I think that's like because you're just working on your business all the time, aren't you? Because he's not in it, so he's straight away he's just working on sales and marketing straight away. So have you ever done quotes or anything like that? Or so you've gone out and done
absolutely, yeah. Well, I've done a few home visits, so when I get an opportunity, whether it's in the off season or I've got a few days off, I'll get down to London. Hang out with the guys, see what they're getting up to almost. I always bring my camera as well. So whenever I'm there, I'm always recording content. And I do some home visits. I've gone out and done some home visits. A lot of the ones that we do are just over video. So we just get a video from the client and quote based on that. Or we do a video call. It was very interesting. I remember the first time I come here, Warren got this desk and Luke, did a video call with a client and he set it up and I recorded the whole thing. I just watched it over and over again so that when I did the video calls, I know what to say.
Did you actually?
Yeah. Still got a recording today.
Speaking to you, like off camera, are you always like learning, thinking outside the box, aren't you?
Well, I mean,
do you know that trait in yourself, like? Because that's what I see. You're always like thinking.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think it's that entrepreneurial spirit. I guess just wanting to learn new things and grow, and I really, really enjoy it. And it's something kind of different to football. I really do enjoy it, and when you're progressing, I think it's like the progression, and you're seeing yourself elevate in the business, grow up, and I'm like, I like that, I want more of it. So any sort of bits and bobs that we can get from the best guys in the industry, we'll take. And like I said, when I came here for the first time, and I sort of set up and I saw, how you guys have sort of grown and got to this stage, I'm like, any little bit of nuggets of information I can get, I'll try my best to sort of take on board. And that was one of them, literally. And I've got the recording, I watched it a few times. And when I did my first video call, I was like, okay, this is what I say at the start, this is what I say at the end.
Nice.
And that's how we done it.
Can I just dive into football a little bit?
Absolutely.
I move quite a few footballers, as you know, so do you. And I always like to get to know these football players. So I always like spend wherever they are, I am, and then we're chatting. What I've got from football players is that they love football, but they hate the business. Is that true with you?
As in the business of football?
Yeah, they hate it.
Yes.
It's almost taken the shine away from what they love doing.
Yeah, I guess so. I think football is a business at the end of the day. We're in the entertainment industry. That's what we're doing, and we're the entertainers. We're not the business owners, and that's the difference. Even with us at this moment in time, players from all sorts of clubs, they fall out with the manager or they fall out with the owner, and the owner has a way that he wants to maintain and grow the business. And a lot of the time, the owners, especially at football clubs, a lot of them are struggling. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. A lot of them are in debt, and some clubs go into administration, and the owner has to do what's right for the club as a whole, and sometimes that's maybe moving a player wrong or not giving a player an opportunity, and that's the way it goes, unfortunately, and that's why I guess as players sometimes we can get frustrated with the business, but it is a business, and I think players need to understand that, and I believe they're starting to, because it is a difference, and even for myself, I guess it had to take me to start a business to understand, okay, this is what happens, because in order for the whole club to keep going and running, the owner has to make sometimes some cutthroat decisions, and that's just the way it goes, unfortunately.
Yeah, I suppose like you just said, you've started a business, now you understand business, now you understand football. I bet a lot of people don't, do they?
No, they don't, I mean, being a football player, you realise that a lot of people don't know anything about football. They don't. Everyone has an opinion, which is fine, and everyone's entitled to their opinion, absolutely, and they can share it. That's great, but you really realise that a lot of people don't know much about football at all. And then again, a lot of us football players don't know much about business. Yeah,
so would you say, because obviously, Rob, you played at a good level.
Yeah, decent level, not as good.
But would you say there's a good education in football to get them geared up for real life, or do most people spend all their money and then not have a clue what they're doing?
That's a good question. Absolutely, I think I was meant to have a talk, which I'm going to do next week at Sheffield United's academy, just showing about this particular topic, which is a lot of football players don't make it. They don't. If you think about the people that want to play football, which is pretty much the whole population in the UK that are probably male, want to play football, very, very small amount of those actually go on to play in some sort of academy, and then a very, very small amount go on to make a first team appearance or even get a professional contract. So a lot of the time, even for me, you know, I was one of the, I guess, lucky ones to go on and play at the professional level.
Yeah.
But I look back at all the guys that got released, you know, growing up through the academy at West Ham, and they really didn't have anything to go into. Like, we really did believe that we were going to make it. Now, I managed to play, but a lot of the lads didn't, and they kind of sacked off their sort of GCSEs and stuff like that, and they were so focused on becoming a professional football player, and unfortunately, it just doesn't happen for the majority. So, unfortunately, and with bad education, or maybe even it's the footballer lifestyle, because some players, they go get a scholarship and then they get a professional contract, they still haven't made it to the first team level yet, and what they end up doing is making poor sort of financial decisions and spending their money on nonsense. And then, unfortunately, they don't really go on to progress, and then they have nothing to show for it. They have there's no sort of assets, no sort of experience doing anything else, and it can be quite dangerous. So I've seen it happen so many times. So it's really close to my heart, this, but I really feel there needs to be more education around this for people that are in and around sports, football players in general, because there just isn't at this moment in time.
But the reason I ask that is because I can see you doing that.
Right.
You're obviously into your education. You've got your removals thing going. You obviously like helping people out. Is there a market there in the football players?
Oh,
But who would pay for it? Would it be the club?
The club.
Yeah.
The club pays for everything,
Gosh.
don't they?
Yeah. There's
they love all that stuff as well.
Yeah. To be fair, they do a lot of workshops. Yeah. It's more like around gambling and
social media as well.
Yeah, social media workshops. Like we used to have them a lot when I was in the academy growing up, just in regards to that sort of gambling, match fixing, that kind of stuff. And there's various of charities that sort of help young professionals if they're going through an addiction problem, whatever it might be. So there is help, definitely.
Yeah.
But for sort of business, there's not much. No. There isn't, and there definitely is a market for it. 100%. Yeah,
probably worth thinking about, isn't it?
Yeah, I kind of already have. I think there's been opportunities to speak at academies and stuff like that, which I'm looking into at this moment in time. Like I'm going to Sheffield next week and speak there, which would be really good.
It's always great to give back as well, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's always great.
Absolutely.
You've been there, done it, and you started the business. It's great to give back.
It's just that there's so many kids out there that will unfortunately not make it to the top level. Yeah. And they're putting everything they have into it, and they just unfortunately won't get there because just statistics show that it's the 0.01% that go on and play at any level.
Is that what it is? 0.01?
It's crazy.
I was at West Brom for a year, and then some unbelievable players there, like academy, unbelievable. Obviously, I got released because I weren't good enough, weren't quick enough. But the junior was the only one who made it, and he made it to conference. To the Conference League, and that was the only. All the rest never even played pro or anything, and that was it. That a whole academy. Do you know what I mean? Well, 1 year academy.
Yeah. That's what it's like.
So slim, isn't it?
Yeah. Because you're not just competing with everyone in your age group. You're competing from everyone in the age group above, and then age group above that, and then the first team player in your position, then the age group below you, then everyone else in other academies in the UK and globally. Because when you get to these Premier League and Championship clubs. They're scouting from players all over the place. Yeah. So players are coming from Portugal, players are coming from Belgium, and you're competing with these guys.
And this is at that level, like under 14s, under 15s. They're bringing in them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I remember when I was there. There was a guy like Rich in midfield. I played against him in the county. And he played against our county. He scored a hat-trick, like Maradona running through people. And I was waiting to see him on TV. Do you know what I mean? And then I come across his social media, and he's put on loads of weight. He's like down and out, and that's a perfect example. You know what I mean? It's crazy how good he was.
Can I just ask? Is there more gambling in football than we know?
100%.
Is it crazy?
Oh my gosh, it's insane.
That's a quick fire lottery ticket. Isn't it?
Yeah. It's insane. I think a lot of players unfortunately get caught up in the lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then, you go down certain avenues and you end up gambling, or I know players that are smoking, doing all sorts that they probably shouldn't be doing. A lot of it's starting to come out now, but it just happens, and it goes back to just unfortunately it's a lack of kind of education around this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of players come into a lot of money very quickly as well. So when players do get that big deal, they get a lot of money come in and they have no sort of financial advice, and then they end up doing all sorts of stupidness, unfortunately, and that happens. It does,
yeah. It's education, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Of course, it is, yeah. So, what's the biggest challenges you've had in business then, from starting off to now?
Biggest challenges, I guess. Let me have a think about this. I guess it's sometimes not being there, because I'm sort of out of the day to day, and when we're sort of moving clients maybe that are a bit more affluent, they got like even today we're moving a massive upright piano, this Essex piano, and it's like worth $5,000. I'm like, oh, how are the lads getting on with that? I trust the lads, but then you're not there. You know what I mean? You can't control it, and that's the difficult thing. I think. I mean, you guys would agree, I guess. It's like you want to control things, and you sometimes not being in the day to day, you just can't. You can't do it. The lads. I trust those guys. They've done upright pianos before, and they'll be fine. But I can't do anything I can't. Whether it's go there and check in. I can't do it. So that's been difficult because as much as we've grown on the sort of the back end, doing the marketing, sales, that kind of stuff. But the guys are doing bigger houses. They're moving more expensive furniture, and they need to make sure that they're doing and moving things correctly and safely. And I can't be there to have my eye on them. So that's probably been the most difficult thing.
What's the process with that?
Is it insurance? Do you guys have insurance? Big insurance?
Yeah, I think every moving company
would
or should have insurance. You have movers plus goods in transit insurance that you have. But better than that, it's just making sure that you're keeping clients safe.
You don't want to use insurance, do you?
I don't think we ever have. We had one client say, I think we had a problem with our TV. We ended up just paying for the TV to be fixed, but we try our best not to, by just making sure we look after stuff.
Accidents happen, don't they, at the end of the day? You're never going to be like 100%, are you?
You're moving cars and things every day.
We damaged a fish tank not long ago.
Right.
And I don't know about you, but damages absolutely kill me. They absolutely kill me. They wipe me clean. Sure. And this one was a guy that's got my WhatsApp, unfortunately. So he wasn't dealing with the normal Esther and stuff. He was straight to me.
Right.
We've ruined his favourite fish tank, and it cost £5,000. Literally quite a difficult person to deal with. But I know Greg at Basil Fry. Greg used to own Basil Fry, but he's passed it down. We've sold it, but he's still working within it. So I rang up Greg and I asked for some advice, and he said, so many companies don't want to use insurance because they want to protect it, but you're paying for it.
Yeah.
You're paying 10 grand a year, 11 grand a year. If you put 2-3 grand fish tank through, you're paying for it. That's what you should do. So he actually encouraged me to use it, and he said, your premiums won't go up because of this, because you've never used us before.
Right. Yeah.
So it gave me confidence.
Yeah.
I just thought that's probably important for me to speak about on this, because I used to be the guy that wanted to protect my claims.
Interesting. Yeah.
But he did tell me to use it.
Right.
If you're paying 10 grand a year and you've put in a claim for 20 grand, that's when you're in trouble with them.
Sure.
But if you put in 2 or 3 grand, for
I guess it's not.
you're more than covering it.
Yeah, because you're paying for it and you're not using it to cover it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess it's like car insurance, though, isn't it? You kind of don't want to go for insurance if you don't need to, because you know that next year your premium is going to go up and it's going to be maybe a bigger expense down the line. Maybe it's that kind of.
Yeah, it probably is, because my car insurance, like she wrote the last car we had off. My insurance is absolutely.
But if you think about it from that perspective, they're replacing a car.
Sure.
And you're paying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So thanks to that conversation, I'm now happy just to push it through.
Sweet. Yeah.
But since then, I don't hear about damages.
Right.
I've literally...
Was that the last one? Was that the last?
That ripped me off, that one.
It's probably the big ones that you hear about, isn't it?
None of them now.
None of them
are.
are.
It's a company rule. I do not want... If I hear about a damage, I don't want to be happy.
Right,
so,
sure.
Yeah, it's just the way it is now. I kind of took a sideways step out. I'm still in the environment. I know what's going on, but I'm not in the day-to-day.
Sure, that's good.
Because I lose sleep, mate.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's your reputation, isn't it? Yeah. I'm the same way. I really want to make... And there's been some difficult moments where we've had maybe damages, or specifically with us, it's been vehicles breaking down, and it's been a nightmare. I remember not too long ago, actually, I was in Montenegro. We played a team out there in one of the qualifying rounds, and the lads give me a call, and it's about 2 a.m. in the morning, and I had a game the next day, and they're like, Josh, we've broken down in Edinburgh. I was like, oh my gosh, that's the last thing you want to hear. So I'm here just trying to sort it out.
Yeah.
Because it's probably like 12 midnight where they were, because they're about 2 hours behind where I was at the time, and it's just like so much anxiety and worry, and then you want to make sure the team's all right, but then you've got a fully loaded van, and then the vehicle's not starting because the rear axle's gone, so we have to get another moving company, but it's 12 o'clock at night and there's no one to... it's just a nightmare. And these things happen, unfortunately, and that's what we sign up for as, I guess, business owners.
Of course it is, yeah. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, is it? Definitely not, no.
It's not. And I'm quite fortunate, obviously, that Warren's the middle management in place now cost me a lot of money.
Sure.
I've stepped away. if I stepped back into the business and did all the quotes again, and started running the business, doing all that, I could save 80 grand. I know that. I know that that's how much I'm worth, because I've learned that over the last few years. But I'd rather have less profit at the end of the month and not work within it.
Yeah.
You know, Warren's works without Warren.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
a dream. That's exactly where I want to be. Same as you.
Yeah.
Past's work without past.
Sure. I guess it's the opportunity cost as well. It's like if you go back in, you might save yourself money, but you doing this and maybe working on the business, you're probably making a lot more than that.
Of course, yeah. There's opportunities that come like iMove probably wouldn't. If you had to run Warren's, iMove wouldn't be here, would it? You know what I mean? No way. Yeah.
And we wouldn't benefit.
Something else.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Something else I realised is, and it's James Sinclair that I learned this from, and it clicked. I can't believe I never realised it before, but when you've got 7, 8 staff, 9 staff, it's good culture. They're all friends. Good company culture. Everyone's like, it's good, you know, it's a circle. When you get to 12, that's when cliques and politics come in. And that's when you get the teams that are like throwing stones at this team. I don't want to work with him. And that the politics comes in. And that's what I realised. I was like, actually, that did happen to me.
Bigger business syndrome, innit?
That's when you need a GM to run it, because it was too consuming.
Yeah. Well, what's the setup in your company then? Have you got a team leader?
So we got a team leader and we got ops manager, Bode, he's amazing. We've got Lewis. You probably see him on camera quite a lot. He's brilliant.
Shout out to Lewis.
Yeah, shout out to Lewis. He's fantastic. He's very charismatic. Yeah. He loves being on camera. He's just a natural, and he's a great leader as well. He gets the guys, all in sync. The great thing about our guys is that they all go to the same church. They all have the same faith. They're all friends, which is great. And a lot of the time, if we need new people, like right at this moment in time, we're looking for a new driver actually, and we're just looking in the church because we know the guys can sort of get whoever it is up to scratch. Yeah. As long as they're willing and they've got good work ethic and got a bit about them, they'll be fine. Yeah. And so we've got a really good sort of team in place. Like I said, we've got ops manager Bode, we've got Lewis, who's the sort of team leader, and we have our VA. Cara, who works in the Philippines, and she does a lot of the sort of quotes and the admin stuff.
I met Cara.
Have you?
Yeah. Remember we did the iMove Zoom call?
Of course, yeah, she was on it. Yeah.
So you got someone from the Philippines doing your video quotes?
No, so she would do, yes, so like videos that we get sent from clients. So let's say they want to send a video of them, they go around the property and film it. They send it to us, Cara will quote it.
So you've trained her up to have
Absolutely, we've gone over it. Hundreds of times over different properties, different setups, parking outside, going over different clients and sort of if a client responds like this, then say this. So we've really built a system where it's really easy for her to quote. And if she struggles, she can always come back to whether it's myself or Lewis or Bode and just ask them for some guidance. But she's quite bang on.
So does she use iMove?
So we really found it kind of difficult to switch over to iMove, but she did it initially at the time. Because it was just an easy workflow. Then what happened is we had Caleb at the time, who unfortunately he left, went on to do other work, and it's kind of been difficult to get Bode onto it because he's been on so many jobs. But with Cara, she's the good thing about these VAs, they're fantastic at using the computer and the laptop. They understand all these things. They can pick up things really quickly. So she's been brilliant. Something that I guess I've not really heard many moving companies do. But if you can get someone like that, who knows how to use all the computer stuff and admin stuff to do iMove, I mean, you'd be so efficient.
Yeah. But you get your website leads fed through to iMove.
That's right, yeah, we do. Yeah, we have the same developer that you have.
Yeah, she's a legend.
She's brilliant.
She's so good. Shout out to Alicia if she ever watches these.
Absolutely.
She actually designed iMove, by the way.
Right, interesting.
All of the design with it.
Well, that's the user interface and all this.
Not how it's like the interface, just the look of it.
Okay, right.
Yeah. But she realised, didn't we, the developers not very good designers. They're good at developing, but it looked terrible.
Sure.
But Alicia, great. Yeah. So your leads come through, and does Cara act on that then?
Yeah.
And then is it WhatsApp? Is it?
Absolutely, yeah. It tends to be 99% of the time WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I really like WhatsApp. The reason why, because I feel like it's a lot more personal.
Yeah.
And you're getting a quicker response time.
Yeah.
And you can see if someone's read the message or not. Yeah. Where with email, obviously with iMove, you can see it as well. But as opposed to sort of having that dialogue on whether it's email, I just feel like it is professional, don't get me wrong, but it just, I can get instant sort of feedback from WhatsApp. And the culture's slightly different on WhatsApp as it is to email.
Even SMS, it's different. You know, what I mean, I think, and WhatsApp's it is personal.
Seems old to
Yeah,
me.
it is personal, isn't it? WhatsApp,
It is. And when you're moving clients and you're moving their valuable goods and stuff like that, they really want to feel a sense of trust. And if you can really provide that using what we use WhatsApp, it works. We use a lot of the emojis and stuff like that. We make it really like you can trust us and friendly. Yeah, that's what we try and do. Yeah.
So you dabbled in church then. I want to dive into that a bit. Can you
right.
explain what is your culture? What is it? What
is
your faith?
Yeah, so I'm a Christian, a born again Christian, as well as pretty much everyone in the team as well.
Yeah.
So I grew up in the faith. My dad, he's got an amazing testimony of how he sort of came to faith, and he originally grew up in Cornwall, moved down to London during when he's sort of late teens. He met my mum, and he just kind of got into church with an experience with a person who kind of invited him to it. And they got married and obviously had me. And I've grown up in the faith.
Yeah.
But like I said, my parents started a church back in 1997, the same church that we kind of go to now when I'm down in London.
Started it?
Yeah, started a church.
Really?
He started a few churches. Yeah, so started this one in Forest Gate. So now there's a few branches dotted around. There's actually one in Birmingham, not too far from here. So
your dad's like the leader?
No, so a lot's happened since, and this is back in 1997. So I was in the womb at the time, quite literally. Yeah. And he started that church, and it's grown and grown. And and I've kind of grown up in the faith. I've always had, Christian values installed into me from young, and I've kind of maintained them up until this point.
Yeah.
And we started our company, like I said, and we've got a lot of guys from the church. And so the culture's great, and everyone goes to the same church on a Sunday, and they can always... They look out for one another, and that culture's there because we all have the same morals and ethics. And values,
it's a culture created straight away, isn't it?
Absolutely, so it's worked really well for us. But I'm a man of faith.
Sorry for my ignorance here, but I have to ask: do you drink?
I don't know. No, I haven't.
That, like part of the culture?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, Jesus turned water into wine, so I guess having a bit of wine's not too bad. But I don't drink for as much as
you guys drink.
No.
I'm just thinking you probably never get the hungover.
No, I've never had that issue.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. That's the future. If you took anyone away from this podcast, go to church as an employee.
Best recruitment tool.
It's been really good for us. It really has. I think a lot of the guys, sometimes we get the late one because a lot of the guys like to create music. And a lot of them create like sort of gospel kind of rap music. They're really into that. Yeah. Lewis is a producer as well, so he likes to do that kind of stuff.
I'd like to meet Lewis.
You will one day. Well, absolutely. Yeah, he's a great guy.
He just seems so natural on the camera, doesn't he? He's just so much. He seems fun. Really fun.
He's got that about him. That's why we put the camera in his face.
They all have. They all have, to be fair.
Yeah, that is a Tetris, mate.
Albert. Like, he doesn't go to church.
He's created his own character there. I mean, he's got a big social media character. But I know him, the Tetris guy. Do you know what I mean?
That's exactly what we're trying to do. It's like him. It's a character. Just like we talked about earlier with like the Jon Snow and the Joffrey, like they're characters, and it's like we're trying to get that across. And what we tend to find is when people inquire about our service, it's like they already know Lewis, they know Albert, they know Caleb, they know Bode, because they've seen them on camera over and over and over again, and they can trust them, and they can associate sort of positive traits to them, which really helps us obtain more business.
You feel like you know them before you've met them, and when you meet them, it's just like no, you feel like you know them. Like what people were saying to us at the show. When they met us, they thought they'd look.
I feel like I know you already. Yeah, it's like we started a conversation over there, and it's like straight into it. You know what I mean? Because it feels so natural. Because I've seen you over and over again. Yeah.
It's quality. That's a great side of social media. I feel. We are connected, aren't we?
Yeah,
absolutely.
It can be bad as well, to be fair. But like, you just got to stay positive, ain't you? On it. I think there's a lot of negativity sometimes. But I think the Z generation, isn't it?
Yeah, Generation Z.
Gen Z.
I don't know. I see it writ, but I don't really know what it is. I don't know what
Gen Z.
Yeah, I don't know what it means.
So it's like I think it's anyone from 1997 to 2009, 10 or something like that. Yeah. So you obviously got like you maybe heard of the baby boomers, Gen X. Millennials, Gen Z would be in that category. So it's basically when you're born, isn't it? Yeah. So I guess I'm a Gen Z. So it's like this TikTok, Instagram generation, which has kind of helped because it's helped me to sort of market my service really well, just understanding these platforms because I grew up on it. You know what I mean?
And how's the course going?
It's going really well.
Is it?
Yeah. We've got some people that that goes back to the education where people struggling to grow and they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm not the finished article by no stretch of the imagination. You might say the same about yourself, where you can look to develop and grow, but you can certainly help people. Because Warren, you've been tremendous to us just by imparting knowledge over the phone or on text.
Yeah.
And
we love a voice note, don't we?
Oh, we do. Yeah, some long ones as well, haven't we? Yeah.
Some audio books.
But yeah, I mean, like, there's people that are just starting in the industry, and it's exactly what you guys are doing with iMove, where they need help to grow their business and to have these systems in place and this like seamless workflow, which iMove provides, and it massively helps. And there's a lot of people that need this information in order to get to, like, I believe without you, I don't think we would have got to where we have got to so quickly without having this knowledge, because you don't know, because you are ignorant when you get started. So always having someone to help and share things on how to market, how to make sales, what to say to clients, that kind of thing, it can really help.
Staying teachable and curious all the time, that's what it's about, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Well, it's also knowing like, in order for us to reach the next sort of level, I need to know something that I currently don't know. And well, Warren's 10 levels above us. I'm like, well, if he's a man that and we want to get to where he's got to, I might ask him the question, because then he can help. I remember you said this to me, Warren. You said when you're at one van, it's like when you get the second van, you just naturally start to attract sort of 2 van jobs. I was like, okay, we've got a second van, and we just kind of naturally started to attract 2 van jobs. I was like, oh, amazing. But that gave me the confidence to go and buy the second van, which is the right business decision. And without that sort of knowledge imparted onto me, I wouldn't have made that decision, or maybe not made it at the right time, and it's been really valuable. So coaching, mentorship, that kind of stuff it can be really valuable for people.
I remember when I accidentally made like one of the best marketing decisions. I put like the different side branding on each van, and it wasn't until after, obviously it would have worked for me because the phone was ringing a lot, but it kind of looked like I had twice as many vans.
Interesting.
Because the photos.
Okay, I'm with
you. Know what I mean? Right. That's probably why we were snowed in. I don't know.
All
Probably
that
not.
time, I told you to sign like the top of your van, and then so I can get drone shots and I can see it.
I love that as well, by the way.
Yeah.
That van's probably a year away from leaving. That's something else as well. So I've got really good at this. I know when to let go of a van.
Right.
Yeah. Quite a lot of us, we're quite sentimental with them.
Sure.
If something's always in the garage, get rid of it.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't matter that it's your first van. It needs to go.
Someone else's problem, innit?
Yeah.
And I held on to one of my vans far too long.
Right. Just kept breaking down.
Yeah, to the point where the person who came to view it, I had to start it for like 20 minutes before, so it warmed up and the black smoke had stopped. But the black smoke was just pissing out. Like, we took it for a test drive, and in the mirrors you could see all this black smoke flipping everywhere, and he still bought it. Yeah. But honestly, you got to get rid of these vans. They're going to become a liability.
Yeah.
They really will.
So where do you see Pask in the next 5 years? Where would you like to see?
Who knows? You know,
where would you like to see your company?
Continued growth, a great reputation, helping more people move. You know, just maybe triple what we're doing at this moment in time. I don't have any set goals. I've never really had a goal per se. I just know that what I'm going to do is going to keep educating myself, keep implementing new things, keep building a team, keep training the guys, keep improving our sales and marketing. And I believe if I continue to do that, we'll continue to naturally grow. And that's it really. That's it. I don't know where we'll be, but I know that there'll be opportunities that come up. There'll be opportunities to grow. There'll be opportunities to do, whether it's start another branch somewhere. Who knows? And then the thing is, it's crazy because this generation we're living in now, things are happening so quickly. Like from when we first met 4 years ago, I didn't know the world looked like this, where AI, ChatGPT.
Oh, I know, it's crazy, yeah. And
so who knows?
I think since AI, it's going to rocket, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we can do the work of like 5-6 people just by using ChatGPT. Like you can put, like what we've done recently, we're just trying to refine our terms and conditions. I'm like, okay, well, I'll use my terms and conditions, use another company's terms and conditions, use another company's terms and conditions, put into ChatGPT and sort of ask it questions. Like, what's the difference between these terms and conditions? How can we make this better? And just like improving upon that, doing contract, putting that into ChatGPT. How can we improve this contract or this letter or this quote? And it's like, this is insane that the work you can do just by one person putting something in like a prompt.
I do find myself using ChatGPT quite a lot now.
Well, yeah, it's a tool now, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like before you had to add up, but then the calculator come. Now you just use ChatGPT to write or do anything, don't you? But like there's certain, because I was talking to a writer, I had a few jobs last week, and I worked with like the media guy, and it was a writer, and I was like, so how are you still in business being a writer? And he was like, you know what, it corrects my grammar, but every writer, it's like an artist. They have their own style of writing, and he does articles for like in magazines and stuff. But he said this day and age, the actual people who want to employ you know that you're using AI. You can tell it a mile off because they use the same words. But I think you can kind of teach it how. I could say speak like a brummie, you know what I mean? And it'd speak like a brummie. So I don't get that, but yeah, it was still loads of work. In fact, more work. In fact, he was doing his work quicker, so we could get more work. So it was a tool for him.
Yeah.
There's this thing called humanized AI. I don't know if you've heard of it. So ChatGPT has a different smaller GPTs within it, and so you can let's say ask it a question like write this letter for me, and then what you can do is take that and either ask another prompt or put into this humanizer GPT, and it say make this more human-like, or use this kind of wording or these phrases, whatever it is, and it can, you can literally humanize a piece of text. It's insane, you know what I mean? And how this is just a start. I mean, this kind of stuff came out, a year ago? Like, what's it going to look like in 5-10 years' time? I don't even think we can even comprehend it. No. So that's why I say, looking 5 years down the line, I'm like, gosh, I don't even know.
It's like us for iMove as well. Like we're like innovating, and we've got to keep going because AI is. Do you know what I mean? We was at the show, we was at the removal and storage show, and we was approached, which is the second actually AI companies who've approached us regarding videoing. You know, like the cubic feet calculator. Yeah. So you video around the house, and then it automatically tells you, gives you the cubic feet.
Yeah. She gave us a demo.
She gave us a demo and was like, we looked at each other like, we need to get that integrated into iMove.
She wants to integrate with us.
Right.
We're going to get him on the podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, Victoria, she's a nice lady as well. Her and her husband are at the moment like going around and recording every furniture. Every furniture. So the AI recognises what furniture it actually is, and print. So people can go around with a video, and then it give you like bam, 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 bam.
And the way it was like conducting it, like on the prototype that she showed us, it was like measuring the furniture. Right. It was guesstimating a good guesstimate of the weight.
Right.
But you could see the AI working, the coding, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was crazy.
And it's even going to be able to tell you how long it'll take 3 people to load up. You know, it's crazy, literally going to be insane.
Well, that's the future. You know, I mean, it's probably the present. You know what I mean? It's insane, yeah. Like, I didn't know about that, but I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. I'm really not.
You don't innovate, you evaporate, that one.
I wonder how much that's going to cost, because that'll be a subscription that will win it.
Yeah, but I think there is one in America, because I obviously do a lot of research. There is one in America, but I think it was like something like £3,000 a month.
Yeah.
That I looked into, and I thought, well, that's just, you're talking monster companies, aren't you, who are going to use that.
Yeah. I think we actually moved this client, it was a small sort of startup company, and I think it's called TRABLE. I think that's their name, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, they are an AI company. I think they were downsizing their office space. That's why they inquired. But basically, what they do is they have, when you've got into a car crash, you can video the crash, and it will basically scan it. The AI scans the accident, and it shows you like the damage and how much it's going to cost to repair it. So without having to go to like a garage or whatever it is to get an idea, you can literally scan it with your phone using this software, and it tells you, okay, this is what's damaged, this is how much it's going to be to repair it for this vehicle, or get a new part, etc. I couldn't believe it.
So would that be like a tool to sell to the insurance industry?
Well, it could be, yeah. Of course it couldn't, yeah. And then all the insurance companies would fight on that app, and yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I know, like we say, it's frightening where it's going, but I'm
excited, embracing, you got it, haven't you? Yeah, like Amazon employ more robots now than they do humans. Facts, mate, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm never surprised. I mean, the thing is, the reason why you're not scared about it is because you see it as an opportunity.
Yeah.
Where other people are like, they're taking over our business, but it's like, okay, well, hold on, let me flip the switch here and think, this is a great opportunity for us. There's maybe going to be some disruption in the market, and how can I capitalize on this opportunity? And that's why I think you're looking at it and saying, oh, this is interesting here, because you can benefit from it some way or help some way, because there's new opportunities, isn't there?
Yeah, if it saves your time and makes your life easier, you're onto a winner, aren't you? So like, there's a lot of removal companies. I speak to quite a few who don't do social media and stuff. So what advice have you got? Because you've obviously like one of the leading runners in social media in the removal industry. What advice have you got to them to get on social media? Have you got any like systems in place or what?
The one thing I would say that would probably help the most with people who are trying to get onto social media to market their service is set the camera up and just record. Just record, because you're going to get so much in your head and you're going to think, oh, this don't look good. Just record and post. Just record and post. I think that's where everyone starts. You know, you're not going to be the finished article. You're not going to be as charismatic as Warren is on the first go. Just like it's taken Warren time to get up to where he's at right now. And I'm sure even for myself, we want to get to the next level. I remember you mentioning about Asheville.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Daniel.
He's amazing.
He's
so
good.
great.
Yeah,
He's
what's got me into him.
Yeah, he's fantastic. But he's so natural on camera, and I'm assuming that when he first got started, he probably wasn't like that. Yeah. And it's because he pressed the record button and he started speaking. Just started sharing about maybe how he's wrapping this table, or he's going to look after the TV, or whatever it might be, and just start with that. And I think if you just press the record button, press the post button, and you do it over a long period of time, you're naturally going to get better. So that's why I would say for anyone who wants to get started,
reps and sets.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Couldn't say any better.
The more you do, the better you get. That's how it works. Would you ever sell past removals?
I have no intention to. No.
But you're building a business with the intention to sell, even if you never sell.
Because
it creates good discipline. James Sinclair.
Classic. Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, I've never thought about it, to be honest with you. I guess because I'm not in the day to day. I don't see it as, I see it as like a cash flowing asset, which is fantastic. Yeah. And I want to keep that. But who knows, what it could look like in 5, 10, 15, 20 years time. It could be very different. I might get fed up, or, want to go into something else. You just don't know. But I'm looking to grow anyway. That's what I'm definitely going to.
Personal circumstances, in it, I think, and different stages of your life. I mean, how old you are, and
sure,
yeah,
absolutely.
Of course, yeah. Or if you want to try something different, you get bored.
What about you? With Warren Removals?
My discipline is to create it to sell it, but I don't think I ever would.
No.
Only because the dream for me was to walk away from it and earn from it. That's where I'm currently at. And don't get me wrong, in the next couple of years, something might happen. I have to dip back in and stuff. But currently where I'm at is where I want to be.
Yeah.
I'm earning a wage from it. I don't need to sell it.
Sure.
However, I do know that if you built a business that doesn't depend on you, which is very rare, by the way, most businesses depend on the owner.
Sure.
It's worth a lot more.
Yes, of course it is.
Where you are right now, Pask doesn't need Josh.
Sure.
It's worth more money than if it did need you, because who's going to buy a business that needs you?
Right.
You're just buying a job, aren't you? You're just buying a job. Yeah.
Well, what I would ask as well is, you have your name.
Yeah.
Does that take any sort of value away from it? Just the fact that, okay, let's say Warren was to sell it, now Warren is not a part of it anymore. Does that matter?
No, the name doesn't, definitely not. It's more the individual.
Right, interesting.
Obviously, when I created Warren's, I expected to just be running from a garage for years and years. So I never expected it to get here. If I could have seen this vision, I might have called it something different.
Right.
But I quite like Warren's Removals. It kind of works.
It does
It
does.
I know it's my name, but I don't think I would sell it.
Right.
I don't think there's enough money in service-based industries either. I think to sell a service-based industry, it's 3 times profit.
Right.
Plus assets.
I see.
That's what we're going to sell it for.
Sure.
So currently, we hardly put any profit through because I'm always building and buying and stuff, as you know. So what you would do if you were to sell a business is you'd stop buying. You'd have 2 years of just pure get the money in.
Yeah.
Try and make, say, 100 grand in profit, 200 grand in profit. Then when you sell, it's worth 300 to 600.
Right, I see, yeah.
Plus assets. So best case, it's worth $1 million.
Right.
Best case, but I need to prepare for a few years for that.
Sure you would, yeah.
And would I sell it for $1 million?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is it worth it? Yeah, you'd rather just keep the asset and maybe just remove yourself from it and then have the cash flow and asset there and then just be like, well, I don't need to sell because, you know what I mean? Then you can do whatever you want to do and still have the asset.
Yeah. But who knows?
Yeah.
I think there's also a value. That wasn't as clear-cut as it might be because I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's a value on reputation as well. I don't know how they value that, but there's got to be a value on that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Yeah.
There's actually like a estate agent. There's actually a business that sells and buys companies, and there's like as a market you go to, and they come and I suppose you get like free quotes or something, free three independent viewers to give you evaluation.
Yeah.
Have you ever got
buy businesses
have you ever
and
got
make money
that? I
from
bet that'd be good to get actually. You know, just like evaluation, see how they see what they look for, and just and then you could improve in them areas. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah.
The most important thing, as we know, Bob, is middle management. We know that now. As long as you've got management in place, then you are a saleable business.
Sure.
If you're buying a business and it's still running, you just buy it and it's still running.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Whereas,
sure.
as you say, if you're buying a business and you've got to run it, you're straight in there and.
Yeah.
That's why you sometimes get businesses where somebody buys it and the owner has to work within it for 3 years to train everyone up.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
I see. Yeah.
And then it's not worth as much then because it's still dependent. You know what I mean?
I see. Yeah. Interesting.
Digressed a little bit, but yeah, I don't think I would sell.
Sure.
No, I really don't. I'm more on to the next. iMove is my new thing.
Yeah.
Warren's running. iMove is unreal. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Doing stuff like this, speaking to people in my same boat.
Sure.
Instead of speaking to staff and customers, I'm now speaking to business owners that are in the same, same footsteps, if you like.
Yeah. You're living the dream, aren't you? You're doing what you want to do. You're exactly in the place you want to be. You can't beat that.
So 2025, how's that looking for Pask?
I think it's going to be the year of maybe purchasing a few more vans. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I think we're in a position at this moment in time. It's difficult because we're in London. Is trying to find like a proper unit. It's just so expensive. It really is so expensive. I'm like, is it worth it? You know, to have somewhere we can sort of. We've got a place where we sort of leave part of the vehicles and it's nice and secure. But spending what you're going to look at 10 grand a month for a really small unit. I'm like, does that make sense?
Yeah. What about storage? Even that's expensive. You need the space, isn't there?
There's no space. It's going to be a fortune. I think what we do, we offer storage, but it's third party. So we have a place that we use, and we have sort of wooden containerized storage, and that works great. And I think we'll just keep that. But we can take on more jobs, getting a few more vans through the door, and as long as there's demand for it, that's what we'll probably do. So probably look to purchase a few vehicles next year, hopefully. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Increase the staff. Yeah.
Have you got a business question to finish off, Warren, from the last guest, Mr. Millington? Oh, perfect.
Andrew Millington.
Okay.
And his question to you is there anything you would do differently if you started your business from scratch tomorrow?
It's going to be a really boring answer, unfortunately, but no, there wouldn't be.
Good.
Yeah, there wouldn't be. I think
I'm happy with what you've done then.
Yeah. And the thing is that sometimes if you think to change something, like the butterfly effect, it can have certain other changes that you probably wouldn't want.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy with the way we've grown. I wouldn't change anything.
Would you consider yourself as a bit of a disruptor? Have you disrupted the industry a little bit? Without intending?
Maybe on the marketing side of things.
Yeah.
Maybe on the marketing side of things, I think you probably were the catalyst to this, with revealing your service on social media. And I've just followed in your footsteps almost. I really do believe it. But yeah, I think there's a new way of marketing your service. You've got to market to where people are searching and looking.
Absolutely.
People are no longer looking on newspapers or, whether it's Yale or Yellow Pages or whatever it might have been back in the day. But now they're looking on social media. Like, for instance, I said this to you guys off pod. But my dad is sending me TikTok videos.
Yeah.
My dad's almost 60.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, he's searching on TikTok for a product or service or for some sort of information.
Yeah.
That's where he's finding his product or service. So as a business owner, I need to market where people are going to find us. And our target audience is around sort of the 25 to 70-year-old mark, I guess, in between there. And they're all on social media. They're all on Facebook. They're all on TikTok. So we have to show up on those platforms to really, get business through the door, because that's where people are looking. So, have you ever looked at ads? I've looked into them. We've never run a Facebook ad. We've done Google ads for a month, I think it was. It didn't work out. And it's not to say that ads don't work. Yeah, we tried.
I think you need to give it longer than that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. We didn't give it anywhere. Maybe
I've never done it though. I've never ever done it.
I don't think I've come across many removal companies who spend a lot on Google ads, to be fair.
There is though, isn't there? Because whenever I search for a removals company, or if I'm doing a Zoom call, I look for them. You see all the ads come up, don't you, first?
You do, yeah.
So people do.
Yeah, I think maybe from the brief look into it that we did, the cost per click is expensive, especially on those keywords that you want to sort of target. And there's a lot to it as well. And that you're competing with really big companies.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, there's better sort of opportunities to. I think organic is way better.
Yeah,
'Cause
without doubt. You build the brand that way as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we've posted some videos and of us like moving a TV or a particular item, and it's got like 200,000 views. And I think to myself, you're not going to get any sort of marketing, whether it's for ads or yellow pages or newspaper, whatever it is, do that.
Yeah.
Compared to, posting a TikTok video that gets that and then having all the keywords in it. And then someone types in removals London, moving company London, they see your video pop up and then they binge watch your content and then they inquire about your service. You've already kind of pre-sold them. And I'm like, that's the best opportunity in my opinion. So I'm not saying that ads don't work. We've dabbled in Google ads very briefly. And maybe
you're almost competing with them lead generators as well, because like we had the Simon on from Pin Local, and they spent over millions and millions of pounds on pay per click, and you're competing with them. You know what I mean?
What was it, like 1.1 million?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was around that. It was definitely it was millions of pounds, millions of pounds a year. You know what I mean?
we can't compete with that.
You can't compete with that, can you?
But what do we have? We have the opportunity to market our service organically. We have the guys, and they're great on camera, and there's real opportunity here because not a lot of other moving companies are doing it at this moment in time, and just share about what we're doing. On a day-to-day basis, we're going to look after this table, we're going to wrap it, we're going to dismantle it, we're going to look after the TV over there, we're going to wrap it, we're going to take it down from off the wall, we're going to reinstall and unplumb your washing machine, whatever it might be, and just revealing that. What we do on a day-to-day basis, and really getting it so that you're hooking the audience in the first 3 seconds, and you're making it interesting.
Did you see that? Did you release that podcast? What you moved it? One moved an influencer, and she's got a big podcast. I don't know how many followers. How many followers has she got? She had half a million followers, and he moved it. And on the podcast, she talked about Warrens, and she did like a little I'd say about 10-minute skit, like 10-minute conversation of Warren's removals and how Warren come with his van, and Warren was the owner, and they removed everything from a wardrobe and they put it in wardrobe boxes. Did you not?
I never released it because I've never heard of this before, by the way, but like. You have like a special subscription to a podcast, and you get like the extra bits added on, which they don't release onto YouTube. So you got to pay for it. What's that called?
Right, is that a Patreon or something?
Patreon, yeah.
So they didn't speak about us on the podcast, but they did on this Patreon thing, or whatever it is. So, and somebody who like pays for that screen recorded it.
I see, right.
But they kept moving their phone and it was flicking left and right.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah. But it was good. I thought it was good because it was good that how she didn't know that all the like removal companies, because obviously I know most removals companies do that now, but she was like mind blown that you took clothes out of wardrobe and put it in another wardrobe box. You know what I mean?
It was great to hear that, because that could have been an opposite conversation. They were having an honest conversation. Sure. She could have been like, they were rude, they were clapping, they broke my telly.
Yeah, sure.
But they were just bigging us up, weren't they?
Amazing. Yeah.
And I messaged her actually. I said like, thank you for the kind words. No response.
Fair enough.
Yeah. You just said she wanted to just do it on the poddy, didn't she? Yeah, talk about. She probably does one a week.
The other person as well since.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. There's two of them. We moved Sophia as well.
But like it goes back to like showing that as you show it on social media, putting them clothes into the wardrobe box. Then someone just seeing that on social media, like, oh, they're a great company. They don't know that every company does it. They just, you know what I mean? They see it.
Absolutely. I think like, well, I'm moving soon. I got clothes that I
Yeah.
Oh, great. And these guys do it. I'll message them. And no one else is doing it. There's no real competition out there for social media marketing. But yeah, I think maybe. We can get too caught on our heads, or like, oh, everyone knows this. No one does. A lot of people are moving for the first time. They haven't got a clue what moving companies do.
No.
I mean, you must get a lot. We get, oh yeah, we're moving, and we've never used a moving company before, because a lot of the time it's like second-time buyers. Yeah. They moved into their first property and they didn't really have anything because they moved out of their parents' house and they probably filled up the car, but now they've got kids and they're moving into the 3-bed or 4-bed now, and it's like, okay, well, we need a moving company because we can't do it ourselves. Yeah. And then so they're looking for this. They're looking, okay, we've got a TV on the wall. We probably need to wrap it. Oh, Warren's and Pass Removals and your ex-removal company are showing that they're looking after my TV. I have that TV. Oh, great. I'll just inquire about them. Yeah. That's the way it is.
You're planting the seeds, aren't you?
Absolutely,
yeah. What I like about like the industry at the moment, and what I dislike, on Facebook, like on the groups, and this is just before the show, so people were like, someone wrote on there who's going to the show, the Movers and Sorrows show, and the consensus in the comments were, I wouldn't go to that shit, you know, like complete, all negative. Like, why would I go there? I'm not wasting my day going there. Do you know what I mean? And it kind of like, it puts it in your head that, is it going to be crap? Is it worth going? You know, like we had a stand, obviously. But what I seen there was hungry, ambitious, young, a good industry.
Right.
It's in a good place for removals. It really is. So the groups are just too negative, aren't they?
Happen. I think this is kind of social media in general. I think people are different in different places. So when it comes to social media, most of the comments you see when any video is negative.
Yeah.
Anything that gets views is like, oh, there's so much hateful comments, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And it'll always be like that. And you know, I guess when you do go to these places, who is going to turn up? It's going to be the ambitious
entrepreneurs. It was great, wasn't it, Rob? Like the people there was loving life. They're really interested in the industry. They want to grow. They're there to meet people.
Yeah, it was a good vibe. It was good, like especially from the outside coming into this industry. It's good, man. Yeah, it's good. And I feel we're vibing. Like we're building like a good community. Do you know what I mean? Very positive, help each other out, and that's probably my favourite thing so far since building it, mate. To be fair,
I think some great people I've met. You know, you, Chris, Ed from Davis and Mac.
Yeah.
You know, Oliver from Comprehensive Removals. There's some great guys, and all of you guys have been amazing. Like since we got started. There's been help. Obviously, there's some negative comments and people saying other things, and that's going to happen. It happens with anything, you know. I get criticised all the time for my playing football. You know what I mean? That happens. But yeah, I've been introduced to some brilliant people and people that are really helpful. So
there are some great people in the industry. Yeah, thankfully we're friends with most of them, aren't we?
Yeah, no, great having you on there, mate. Yeah, you've been.
Thank you. Anything you want to ask me and Rob?
Probably off camera. Yeah, I like the teeth. I want to know where you got them done.
Me too. I do like one teeth. The dentist, which dentist, wasn't it? Yeah.
I've got 8 veneers.
Right. Okay.
8 veneers, and I paid about $4.5 grand.
I like your teeth. I love that on the removal kind. Yeah. Any questions? Yeah, I like your teeth.
I was one of those kids at school. I should have had a brace, but I felt I was too cool for a brace. Right. I went part of the process, had the retainer and stuff. Couldn't handle it.
Right.
Give it up.
Sure.
But always regretted it when I got a bit older. Yeah, so when I saved up a bit of money, I'm like, I'm doing it. So yeah.
Beats off the turkey, mate.
It wasn't turkey. It was Droitwich, just down the road, mate. Yeah. I'll introduce it to my guy. He's a legend.
Right, thanks for wrapping up there.
By the way, this podcast releases on the 1st of January.
1st of January, yeah, so Happy New Year. Hope you all had a good Christmas, and Josh, thanks for coming on, mate. You've been a legend. Stay teachable and curious, because this guy is. Yeah. And I look forward to your journey in 2025, mate.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much.
Cheers, mate. Thanks, Ben.